I don't very often do this, and this has nothing to do with my general podcast. I've watched a lot of NBA basketball in my life, and I've seen some of the most peculiar calls, rip-off calls, homer calls, fixed calls that you can imagine. But there were two things that happened in yesterday's Cavaliers Hornets game that I can't fathom for the life of me. The first of which was a 4-point play in which a field goal was not made. I don't think I've ever seen a game where a call was made that made literally no sense whatsoever. To set it up, and I'm sure you watched the game if you're watching this, the question with the game getting tighter down with, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter was whether Dean Wade had saved a ball underneath the Hornets basket or whether his foot was on the baseline. And they blew the whistle to stop the play. And everybody assumed that that meant that Dean Wade's foot was on the line. When they really ran it back in slow motion, you could see that Dean Wade's foot was most likely on the line. They didn't have an exactly perpendicular camera view, but you pretty well had the understanding that he didn't really save the ball. So much so the officials just blew the whistle and stopped the play. Or so we thought. Obviously, in the frantic nature of the comeback by the Hornets, the whistle was drowned out to some of the players who promptly threw the ball into the corner to Rozier. Ed Davis, sitting on the bench adjacent to where Rozier would have shot the three-point shot, reached out and just kind of playfully poked him, and he chucked up a three that didn't go into the basket. The referee, standing approximately 4 or 5 feet away, points his finger, the ultimate finger of accusation, at the Cleveland bench. And he calls a technical foul. It's like, somebody say something? What's the deal? And then the whole thing is we sit around and wait and wait and wait for an explanation. The next thing you know is, and I'll do the face that I always do when the home team is going to get a ridiculously favorable call in order to create the momentum necessary to win the game. And the referee will make a call like, I've seen this a gazillion times, to get the crowd really roaring into the game. This one comes out over the loudspeaker system, and I think the Hornets bench was like, yeah. It was like winning Final Jeopardy in the Tournament of Champions. I mean, you don't get gifts like that in 10 Christmases. 4 points. It's like, what? Yeah, free throw for the technical foul on Ed Davis, and the 3-point shot. It didn't go in. That was the beauty of it. The shot by Rozier missed. So I guess we were left to believe that we just had to assume that Rozier was going to make it because it's against the Cavs, and then he's going to make it. He didn't have to shoot 3 free throws, which I would have thought, at the very least, if they really felt that they'd interfered with a live basketball shot, that he would have received a technical foul shot and 3 shots from the line. How do they get a 4-point play when the field goal never went in? And I'm still just totally flummoxed by this. I played basketball when I was younger, and I don't know every NBA rule, but I ain't never seen anything like that happen before, and I hope I never see anything like that happen again. Meanwhile, JB Bickerstaff is like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what the fuck? And they were able to cut the lead down, and then they went, because of that call, everyone got into a frenzy, and then they couldn't miss, okay? Which takes me to the next thing that totally has me flummoxed. My background is in broadcasting, all right? Unlike a lot of podcasters on here who want to be and eventually move their way up into, I already did broadcasting for all the years of my life. And whether it was doing top 40 DJing, color commentary at University of Miami of Ohio basketball games, I take broadcasting seriously. And I'm not going to tell you that I like a dry broadcast. What I will tell you is that I really like Joe Tate on the radio because he was descriptive, he was fast, and he was accurate, all right? The Cleveland Cavaliers broadcast team, I think, is completely fine. Austin Carr is Austin Carr, and I think we all accept Austin because, to be honest with you, he was part of the miracle at Richfield and is just a guy who had to suffer the slings and arrows of playing for Cavaliers team that wasn't particularly good, and he had to fight through injuries to do it. And we've had a lot of good sideline reporters, and Serena Winters is the latest, and she's coming along just fine. And I sit and analyze the quality of the broadcast. Well, normally, because I don't live in northeastern Ohio, I live down here in Florida, I watch the games through a DirecTV sports package, the NBA package, and I watch Bally's Ohio to get the Cavaliers feed so I can listen to the hometown announcers. I don't have that luck when the game gets put on NBA TV. Well, I do if the game's being held in Cleveland. This game was held in Charlotte, so I had to listen to the Charlotte broadcasters. I don't know who these two schmucks are. I have never in all of my life heard a less professional broadcast. And I understand enthusiasm and rooting for your team. And, I thought, honestly, that I had rewatched Bobby Richardson hit the game-winning home run in Game 7 of the goddamn World Series back when. I thought that I was witnessing like something that would move mountains, the resurrection of Christ or whatever. I thought it's a goddamn regular season game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are without their point guard, without their three, Lauri Markkanen, and trying to beat this team on their home floor with good win because Rondo is, I'll do my Rondo impression. Hey, I think I can get the ball up the floor now. If I see Rondo one more time with the ball in his hands with 3 seconds left of the shot clock, getting his fadeaway shot blocked, I think, don't ask me what I might do. But at any rate, I'm watching this game and I'm listening to these guys, and at the end of the game, they caught fire. Even they didn't understand what had happened with the 4-point play call. They couldn't explain it, but they were happy as hell they got it. It was like, ah! I can't even imitate for you. It would be something. I'll try because I know Cleveland fans listen to the Cleveland broadcast, and not all of you got to hear this. But let's go PJ Richardson. PJ Richardson, God! All right, now I'm going, boy, Joe Tate, I remember when we, in the Miracle of Richfield season, I can't do that again because my voice won't tolerate it. that he was hoarse. The last play of the game where Chenier missed and they tipped it 17 times at the rim and the Cavaliers won. Joe Tate, a young Joe Tate, was absolutely ecstatic. But, that's like a series win for a Cleveland Cavaliers organization that really didn't know which way to go after tip-off. And that did happen to Johnny Warren. If you're a Cavs fan, and I've seen them all, wrong way basket, wrong way Warren. So that was really exciting. This is a regular season game. And but everything they did at the end of the game, and then when Oubre hit the shot, they're screaming, literally screaming at the top of their lungs. Now, here's the part I can't fathom. I understand that if you want to scream, even though your listeners have to be able to understand what you're saying, and all that was like a bunch of distortion. You're supposed to be able to discern what somebody is saying if there is a rational thought involved with it. But what was said with 46 seconds left in the game? And one thing that you learn, if you knew a thing about broadcasting, is you never make a judgmental decision on your opponent until the game is over. I will tell you the line that emanated from the lips after Oubre hit the corner three over Goodwin and started blowing kisses to everybody in the crowd. That's Kelly Oubre, who's made how many appearances in the finals? Oh, never mind. He was on the Wizards. He makes the shot. He's throwing and blowing the kisses. And then the camera turns to the bench. And the announcer is literally at this point fapping on the air. I mean, it's like horrible. Fawning all over his team. It's like, all right. To the victor goes the spoils. And right now, it's looking mighty good for the Hornets. But then he says this. The Cavaliers fell apart like a $3 suitcase. What? Fell apart like a $3 suitcase. There's 46 seconds left in the game, and you're behind. Oh, they're behind 101-98. They could come out of the timeout and nail a three. Love had hit several. But they fell apart? Did they watch any Cleveland Cavalier games this year when the team could have flat out quit and managed to grind out wins, or to play respectably without huge numbers of their players? Did they know nothing? And I'm seeing comments. Obviously, Cleveland Pulse heard it too. Yeah, the denigration of Goodwin. Yeah, they took Brandon Goodwin off the scrap heap. And whenever Kevin Love was shooting a three, God, no. Like, I'm listening to this going, where is this coming from? And then the $3 suitcase comment, and it's like you're trash talking with 46 seconds left. And of course, the Cavaliers drew within one after the putback dunk by Jarrett Allen. And then, of course, the miss on the other end. We had no timeouts. And then the end of the game, which would seemingly never go our way in that situation. I think somebody in the league had to have phoned in and said, that 4-point play call, that doesn't exist in the rule book. Just get us out of this game. And Kevin Love did get the benefit of a shooting motion call and put down the 2 free throws and won the game. And yet still at the end of the game, the last lob pass they tried to throw for an alley-oop to win the game hit the front of the rim, but it didn't stop these idiot announcers. That was a foul! That was a foul. It's like, I really want to suggest something. Yesterday on the show, I suggested that Grambling State College fire Hugh Jackson. All right. That was my suggestion yesterday. I think somebody at whatever regional sports channel they're on should have a conversation with these guys. This isn't the fucking WWE. All right. I mean, and the last time I heard, this kind of yelling and screaming announcing, he's coming in the ring with a chainsaw, that kind of shit. That's why I got the whole game. And it just really, really disturbing. But I watched it over and over again because it did become funny. They were sore losers in the end, Peter. And the change of emotions, it was like somebody who had taken medication. They were Xanaxed from screaming and yelling. And no apologies, Kurt Cobain, no apologies. Just, that was a bad call at the end of the game. He was not in his shooting motion. Well, I hate to tell you, boys, but there still would have been 1.4 seconds left on the clock. And I have a feeling the Cavaliers would have drained that too, just because the announcers were such big assholes. Oh, my goodness. I just felt moved to make this video because, A, it was great to see a couple of things yesterday. One, it was great to see Jared Allen, who I thought had played beneath the level of what he had been playing through the beginning of the year. And I was wondering if it was fatigue, if he was beat up. He's just reaching that middle of the season blues where, JB has the team really playing some up-tempo up and down the floor. Maybe the big fella was lacking in some energy. I tend to believe that Jared Allen's a guy who needs to be kicked in the butt. And I think the snub of not being named to the All-Star team was the wake-up call. He obviously, is able to turn it on. And this was the problem I had with Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond may have been one of the most talented big men around the league when he actually put out the effort. And Jared Allen needs to learn, and he even went to Bickerstaff before the game and said, in the days leading up to the game, coach me up, be hard on me. I have a feeling that Jared Allen is just kind of a nice guy who can just kind of settle into a rhythm, and you want to keep him really riled up. He destroyed them. I mean, to watch him come out and play a good game from the absolute opening tip all the way through the end of the game, 29-22 is a hell of a result from that player. That was really great to see. It's also great to see character demonstrated on a team. Not only character winning a close game, but character in hard work and work ethic and in getting along with one another. You don't see these guys arguing and yelling at one another. You don't see that. These guys are all about digging in, playing hard defense, and playing both ends of the floor. And I'll say this, the Hornets got hot, scored 36 points in the fourth quarter. That usually doesn't happen against this Cavalier team. But to suggest that the team... $3 suitcase. I don't even know where that expression came from, to be honest. I felt like it was Jim Ross, he's whipping him like a government mule. That's a kind of WWE shit that it just kept bringing up in my mind. It was weird. And do they even understand how basketball's played there? And doesn't anybody see a problem with Michael Jordan as an executive at this point in time? It was fun to watch the team win, but it was nicer to see the team retain its composure, and when everything looked like it was against them, and to turn around and have enough character to win that basketball game. And it wasn't like Jetty Osmond had any kind of a game. Jetty was more like Marie Osmond. And it was primarily, Jared Allen and Kevin Love. I mean, that was like 54 points between the two of them. So, it's not the way you want to win, but it's like Bickerstaff said after the game. Yeah, we were able to throw this game into the mud and play it out from the mud. That's pretty much the way the Cavaliers do it. It reminds me a lot of the way the Indiana Pacers used to play, possession by possession. So that in most cases, when they would get up 10 points on you, it was terminal. You never got out from under. Cavaliers were kind of like that too. And, and if they had Darius Garland, they wouldn't be turning the ball over as much. And again, a 10-point lead with Darius Garland on the floor and the defense that the Cavs have, it's tough to beat them. Yeah. Cleveland Pulse is loving this. The second last of the play, it was Okoro who accosted Gordon Hayward. I was waiting for them to bring up the sisters from the Shawshank Redemption. I don't know what in the hell. I mean, whatever was happening on the court, and it was, being through the eyes of an absolute lunatic fanatic. And it was an embarrassment to the NBA. It was the officiating was an embarrassment. The announcing is an embarrassment to the network, and they should look into it because, even on NBA TV, they made reference to the always colorful. And it's like, oh, I got to hear these guys. And it's like, no, I don't. I never want to hear them again. And when they came back on NBA TV, they were the first ones to start saying, what in the hell happened with the 4-point play thing? So, and I haven't seen anything yet come up as far as the league office explaining how in the hell that happened. At any rate, I wanted to share my experience with you today and invite you to stop by and watch Moohead Radio, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. And we'll talk more about all this great stuff. Thanks a lot for indulging me. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.